You have tracked every gram, hit your protein targets, and yet your bathroom scale has not budged an ounce in 3 weeks. The math of calories in versus calories out is failing you, and it is not a character flaw. Your metabolism has hit a plateau that standard tracking cannot fix. It feels like you are doing everything right, but the chemistry inside your cells tells a different story. It's not a lack of willpower. Most of the weight loss industry is built on data derived from studies on men. Your body operates on a different, more complex frequency. And the final method I am going to share with you is something almost nobody is talking about, yet it is the secret to unlocking your metabolism. Let us get into it. Imagine a standard clinical trial for a weight loss supplement. Researchers take 100 participants, feed them a calorie restricted diet, and measure their weight loss. Historically, those 100 participants were overwhelmingly male. Why? Because men have a linear hormonal profile. Their testosterone stays relatively stable from day to day. Women, however, have a hormonal profile that shifts drastically across a 28-day cycle. When you introduce a woman into a clinical trial, the fluctuating estrogen, progesterone, and FSH levels make the data messy. So, for decades, researchers simply excluded women to make their math look cleaner. This means the calorie guidelines you see on your fitness app, they were largely calibrated for a body that does not experience a menstrual cycle. The first thing you need to realize is that your body does not count calories, it counts fuel availability and stress signals. When you drastically cut calories, your brain does not just see weight loss, it sees a famine. Because of the way female hormones interact with insulin, a sudden caloric deficit can trigger a survival response that halts fat burning. Your thyroid, which is essentially the master thermostat of your metabolism, is incredibly sensitive to these signals. In 2018, a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that women who underwent long-term caloric restriction saw a significant drop in their resting metabolic rate compared to men on the same protocol. Your body is working overtime to preserve life, not to fit into a pair of jeans. Stop viewing your calories as a static number. Start viewing them as a signal to your biology. Now, here is where things get interesting. If counting calories isn't the key, what should you actually track? The answer lies in your blood sugar. Think of your blood sugar as the primary informant for your hormones. When you eat processed carbohydrates that spike your glucose, your pancreas releases insulin to shuttle that sugar into your cells. Insulin is a storage hormone. If your insulin levels are high, your body is effectively locked into storage mode. A study from the Stanford University School of Medicine revealed that even in women with normal body mass index, glucose spikes were directly linked to higher levels of visceral fat storage. The mistake most people make is focusing on the calories in a snack rather than the glucose response that snack creates. If you eat 200 calories of pure sugar, your insulin levels will skyrocket and your fat burning process will shut down for hours. If you eat 200 calories of fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats, your glucose stays flat. Your body remains in a state where it can access its own fat stores for energy. You aren't losing weight because you are eating too much. You are struggling because your hormonal environment makes it impossible to tap into stored body fat. Focus on blood sugar stability instead of the calorie count. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week to help you get off the treadmill of confusion and start working with your biology instead of against it. All right, remember how I said there was a third method? Something so powerful it makes calorie counting look like a relic of the past? This is it. You need to align your activity and your food intake with your infradian rhythm. While the circadian rhythm is a 24-hour cycle, your infradian rhythm is your roughly 28-day cycle. Throughout this month, your body has different requirements for energy and stress handling. During your follicular phase, right after your period ends, your estrogen is rising. This is when your body is most insulin sensitive and most capable of handling higher intensity exercise. You can push harder in the gym here. But as you move into the luteal phase, the 2 weeks before your period, your body is prepping for a potential pregnancy. Your metabolism actually speeds up, burning an extra 100 to 300 calories per day, but you are also more prone to blood sugar instability. This is why you get those cravings. Your body is literally screaming for more fuel because it is working harder. If you try to force the same diet and workout routine throughout the entire month, you are fighting your own chemistry. When you align with your cycle, you eat more complex carbohydrates during the luteal phase to stabilize that rising insulin demand, and you reduce the intensity of your workouts to keep cortisol in check. A study published in the journal Nutrients back in 2021 tracked women who adjusted their diet based on their cycle phases. The results were stark. They reported 60% fewer PMS symptoms and more consistent weight management over a 6-month period compared to a control group on a fixed calorie diet. Let that sink in. You are not broken. You are just living a life built for a male physiology while inhabiting a female one. Once you see it this way, you cannot unsee it. The calorie counting stops making sense because it ignores the most powerful variable in the equation, your own hormonal shifts. So there you go. 3 real actionable ways to stop obsessing over numbers and start listening to your body. You have moved from the flawed logic of calorie restriction to the stability of blood sugar management, and finally to the high level mastery of your infradian rhythm. It takes a little time to observe your cycle and pay attention to how different foods make you feel. But that investment of effort will pay off for the rest of your life. You are building a sustainable system, not just following a temporary plan. If you got value from this, share it with a friend who is tired of the calorie counting hamster wheel, and subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Next week, I am tackling the myths of intermittent fasting for women and why doing it wrong might be wrecking your HPA axis. See you then.